Everyone, welcome to St James Park, Saturday afternoon. Fantastic Challenge Cup tie against the unbeaten league team Killingworth. Pleased at last to be joined by Alnwick's manager Richie Latimer. It's not his fault we've had no interviews. It's pesky work's been getting in the way, so it's great to catch up with you, Richie. First of all, thanks for being with us.
Yes, no problem at all. No problem.
It has been a while, so before we talk about the season, let's talk about today. Killingworth, as I mentioned at the start there, not just unbeaten, won every game in the league. I thought Alnwick today were more than a match. I thought that was a really competitive, excellent cup tie. How do you view today?
Yeah, I think it was, the game was very bitty today. I mean, like you say, Killingworth, a very strong team, you know, like you said as well, 14 league wins on the bounce, you know, so they're a team in conference. They've got some very good players in forward areas especially, but we came with the game plan today. We've obviously come off the back of two good wins against Brother last week in the conference, so our confidence was pretty high as well, although we've had to make a couple of changes through illness and injury, but it's no excuse, that's why we've got the squad. But going to today's game, I think first half, I think we were good for 20 minutes and conceded the goal, and I think after that, for 15-20 minutes after that, I think we went a little bit shy, you know, heads dropped a little bit. Killingworth are very good on the counter-attack with Baxter and Sam Grieveson up there.
Oh, they've got some very dangerous lively players. But you must be pleased after that. It was probably a 10-minute where you were under it for a while. You must have been pleased the way after not conceding the game during that 10 minutes to then go forward.
Lots of differences over the last couple of weeks. You take the Blue Star game for example, you know, we've conceded one, then we've conceded one quite early, so you know, with a bit more experience at the back with Lee and that, it did look solid, you know, although they were a lot in our half for the first, well, the 20 minutes after they scored. But again, we asked them to do something before the game. It didn't necessarily work that way. Obviously we brought Michael Laws in today, who's very good in the box, with Sai Farrier, who's good in the air as well. So our game plan really was to get down the outsides and put balls into the box. It didn't really happen. I think the first time it did actually happen, Michael scored, you know, and it was a little bit disappointing from that aspect that we didn't do that a little bit more often, you know, test them. Because I think Killingworth today weren't great at the back, if I'm honest. You know, I think we got in a couple of times in and around the back. I think really we should expose them a lot more, especially first half.
I think you surprised Killingworth in the way you went about it today. Before I say the next question, this is not derogatory to the players that were on the pitch. I thought they were excellent. You mentioned the squad. The squad's improving week in, week out. But how many players were actually out today?
I think it's about 8 to 10, to be honest with you. I mean, like I say, we've got a strong squad now, but we still haven't had that luxury of having the same squad, you know, at least 2-3 weeks in. So you like to say Phil Riley's our weaknesses, you know, and other lads. Obviously Matty made his debut today, which is good to get him back in, but he hasn't played for a while, so it's going to take him a little bit to get back. Keezer came back in last couple of weeks, done very well. Picked up a knock last week again. Same with Jake Lowe was coming on last week, done very well. Picked up an injury as well, so it's just one of them.
And you changed at half time. You brought 2 players on. Were they injured or was that a pure tactical decision?
It was a tactical decision in some aspects, because Michael Laws had to come off with a tight hamstring, which was, for me, was a big blow. He was central to our plans today to, you know, get the ball in and around. You've seen he's a big, strong lad. He'll bring people into games. But obviously Matty's just joined the club. I think Ben's done very well of late. You know, he's unlucky not to start today. So I brought them 2 on just to see if we can get it in around the back a little bit more, you know. And I think really we should have. I think the 90 minutes I think we were naive. You know, we didn't release the ball quick enough in areas in our half, and we got caught. Like I say, they'd come with a game plan where Sam Grieveson a lot behind 2 players, and Baxter's very good when you get him one-on-one.
He's fast, he's tricky.
He's tricky, and you can see why they've been successful with it.
But you know, we really appreciate your honesty for coming out and being honest. But from the spectators, the 472, the car park casuals, we all thought that was a tremendous performance. 100% effort and commitment from the lads. Now let's move on from the start of the season. It's the first interview we've had with you. For me, asking the questions, this is how I envisaged it. Team in transition.
Yeah.
But the last few weeks, I can see huge improvement.
Yeah.
But you know, from 1 week you've got beat 5-0, and then how do you build the lads up after and that was a home defeat.
Yeah, I think there was two results really. There was the Seton Delaware game the week before, when we got beat 3-0, and I think that's the worst we've been this season. You know, followed by the Newcastle Blue Star game. I think we were good for 20 minutes against Newcastle Blue Star. The referee, in my opinion, made a mistake, you know, and it cost me. 2 minutes. And it cost me a little bit.
That was Lee Dundas. He thinks the match's still going on.
So yeah, but going off the back of it, we sort of got the lads together after the 5-0. We weren't fit enough, you know. So there's things we implemented. We started doing running on a Tuesday night, you know.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I believe you've been down the beach and on the sand.
Yeah, we do a lot down Tynemouth. Obviously, most of my teams during pre-season, it's been difficult with the COVID to try and get the lads up to speed during the pre-season and that. And I think it's just caught up a little bit. So I'll get them down on a Tuesday night down to Tynemouth sort of area. Down the Priory, a lot of steps, a lot of hill runs, you know. But
is everybody from every area of the club, people travelling from Manic and everywhere, they're all buying into that, aren't they?
And I think that's a big part of how it's changed around, you know. I think at times it's difficult. From the start of the season, I think we've brought 22 new players in, you know, and it's very hard to galvanise 22 players to 25 players within that short period of time, you know.
Absolutely.
So yes, I believe I've got a good squad here, and I think there's a lot more to come from the squad, but it is going to take time, you know, lads to get to learn each other and whatnot. But yeah, so they've all bought into it. I think it's bought in to the lads being a lot more together, you know, and the running. Obviously they've been training on the Thursday. We're bringing a couple of key players in, a couple of key players are coming back. A bit more of experience. Keys has a big one for me, you know, he's come back in, for me he's a proper blue, you know, good in the change room, good in training, good on a football pitch, just talking through games. And I think that's what we need, and the change room at the minute has got to feel that it's now starting to come together, and they're all starting to fight with each other a bit more.
And that seems to be rubbing off on the support. It was great support again today.
Always is,
and the supporters are really buying into what you're doing.
Yeah.
The crowds are getting bigger, and I thought this morning, I genuinely thought that after the rain last night, the game would be off. What do you think about this pitch and surface today?
Oh, it's great. Like you say, for the... Sorry lads, I'll just go in and out of the change room there.
There you go, lads.
Ian, lads, shut that door for us, please. Lads, Manny, shut that door for us, please. Sorry about that.
It's quite alright. I wouldn't mind if the lads were playing good music, you know. Aye.
No, yeah, like the weather you say, but Ian's, for me, he's a godsend. You know, I mean, the way they get the pitch looking here.
Did you think this morning, were you looking at your phone and thinking, is this game going to be on?
I would honestly say at the start of the season, I would have been. But knowing Ian now, you know, and the way he looks after his pitch, you know, and like you say, sometimes it's a nightmare to try and get on if I want to train or anything.
And I'm scared stood here now.
Yeah, but that's why it's such a good service. Which sometimes, again, like I said, probably last season, back in the last season, sometimes works against you because teams enjoy coming and playing here as well. So we've got to sort of rise to that again, you know. But no, Ian has got the pitch.
And your genuine view on the season so far. Like you say, you've had so many players in, but you still have the good backbone of a team.
Yeah.
And still a team in transition.
Yeah.
It's a shame we're out of a cup today. Cup is always lovely.
Yeah.
But you couldn't have had a worse draw.
Yeah.
For the rest of the season, what you just want to build and improve?
Yeah, it's about, I mean, obviously we're getting through last week in the cup. We've always earmarked one cup that we want to, you know, I mean, we'd love to get to a cup final, you know, first season in charge, you know, everyone involved in the club. That's what we're here for for nights like that. So that's something down the line we really want to achieve. In a league position, I've got to be honest, I'm disappointed where we are at the moment. You know, I think there's been games which have been close where we haven't been clinical enough, you know, in both boxes, you know, defending and attacking. I think we're through with 9 to 12 points overall, but again, it's just one of them when we're trying to build, you know, we're trying to get the right pieces in the right places.
And just one final question about today. I mean, I thought it was a great performance. I don't want to know what's in the dressing room, that's utterly stupid to ask. But what do you sort of say to the players after such a great performance against a good team?
Well, I'm a little bit different to you because I know what these lads can do.
Right.
You know, so yes, it was a competitive game for me.
Yeah.
You know, like you see, Kilmarnock, 14 wins on the bounce in the league, you know, coming and getting a 2-1.
And then anybody who's watching, I'm really sorry to interrupt this, but Alnwick hold the record in the Northern Alliance for the most league wins on the bounce.
Right.
And Kilmarnock might beat us in the next game. I just thought I'd get that in, which is bad form. So if this had been a league game, I know you would have won.
Yeah. But going back, what we're seeing in the change rooms to the lads after the game is, there's obviously disappointment there, you know, because I think that game there today was a good opportunity, you know, against a decent Kilmarnock team.
Yeah.
I still think we're, you know, if we're not as naive in our part of the pitch, you know, we're getting the balls into the right areas, I think we've got enough quality to go and punish a like to Kilmarnock or anyone really in the league. It's just a shame that we didn't buy into it a little bit earlier. You know, when Michael Laws was on the pitch, you know, you've got to utilise a lad who's good in the air, strong, you know. It's disappointing, it is, you know, it is. But the lads will pick themselves up. We've got an important game. Like I say, the league's a big thing for us. You know, we want to kick on really in the league. I think it's a false position we're in.
I do too. I totally agree with you.
But at the end of the day, the league's a league. You know, and you've got to get them wins. You've got to get them performances in. And we want to be higher. You know, we feel like we should be higher.
I do too.
We just need to. And Whitney B is a massive game. Next week.
Next
you know, they're all big games at the minute, and then you've got the Ponteland game after. I think they're both difficult games for different reasons, but there's no reason why we can't go and get 6 points from them games.
Absolutely not. You should. You take a lot of confidence from today's excellent performance. Richie, I'd just like to say thank you very much to you and Liam and all the backroom staff. We think you're doing a wonderful job. Keep carrying on as you are. Hopefully we'll get more interviews with you. On behalf of Alnwick Town TV, we appreciate your time. Brilliant. Now we might let you go for a pint.
Well, again, it's lovely to see you lads as well back. You know, it's been a massive miss, but thank you very much. Thank you for everyone who's come today.
Thank you very much, Richie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.